Good morning and welcome back to my umpteenth episode of You Are a Bunch of Messy Peasants and I Am Your Salvation. Today, I will show you how messy you are even while using Excel. To maintain my superiority, I use the let function to create order within my nested functions. The let function allows you to create order, beautiful order. Let's see how. We start with a blank cell, clean, innocent, tender. It doesn't know what is waiting for it yet. In this cell, we will use the let function, a function that allows you to declare variables in an orderly fashion. Variables can be named however we want. The important thing is that they are clear, easy to understand, and above all, clean and orderly.
My secret for a perfect variable? A crystal clear name and the most complex, elaborate value that my twisted mind can invent.
Imagine a variable as a box. It can contain anything: socks, underwear, shoes, ties, t-shirts, or numbers, text, cell references, or simple or nested functions. The variable name, on the other hand, is simple text, but without any spaces. It doesn't really matter if you use uppercase or lowercase. The names can even be very long.
That way, when you need the content of a variable in the final formula, you just call it by name, even multiple times.
After defining all of our variables, we can start building the final formula. For example, if our variables are x and y, we can add them together with the mathematical formula x plus y. If our variables are cell references, we can process them with one or more functions. If the first name variable contains lowercase text and last name contains uppercase, we can fix them right inside the variable itself. So both first name and last name are correctly transformed using the proper function.
Every variable is processed. Then at the end, the final calculation uses the variables: order, cleanliness, straight hair.
You can create many variables and inside them call previously declared variables. A numeric result of a mid function can be used once as text in one variable and another time as a number in another variable. And what I find most exhilarating, when I need to update a part of the formula, I no longer have to scan through 5 lines of a single formula to figure out where I forgot a comma.
I just need to find the problematic variable and update its value definition. Surgical, sanitized, white walls.
Making complex calculations is my favorite hobby. But without orderly methods, even I get confused.
Wait a second. Just a moment. There! Wunderbar!
Very often I happen to create nested formulas in Excel that have more than 5 levels. Low-key delulu. And if an update is needed in one of these formulas, I have to sit there with a magnifying glass to find where the part to update is hiding. The let function allows me to break the big formula down into little formulas and focus on one shtick at a time. Just yesterday, I had to add my energy formula to one of my super-duper mega extra crispy calculations with sauerkraut. So I wrote my wife's weight in cell A2. She didn't like that very much, I'll tell you. I defined it in the let function as the first variable m, which stands for missus. Then I added the second variable c for the speed of light. C stands for cheese and crackers. That's fast. This c I raised to the power of 2 because when my wife found out I used her weight, I had to run away that much faster. In the end, I calculated that energy equals m times c squared. I saw this formula on a bathroom door during Oktoberfest. I realized, however, that something wasn't right. I needed to use mass, not weight. I went right back to the blackboard and divided the weight by the force of gravity, because my wife's reaction was very grave.
That's how I discovered my wife's mass. She discovered this calculation, and I discovered how fast I can pedal. Remember that at least in Excel, thanks to the let function, you can fix mistakes after making them. Auf Wiedersehen.
You simpletons probably don't know that I can perform magic even with Excel. I take a simple function like let, and I use it to simplify my life in ways you humans can only Google. For example, I can take a Florida man's ID number and transform it into an actual date of birth. I use the mid function to extract the year part from the date of birth. Position 11, 2 characters. Then I process the result with the value function to get its numerical value, instead of a text string. For the month and day, on the other hand, I use the mid function to extract the number from position 13, 3 characters. I use the if function to check if the number is greater than 500, means female assigned at birth, and in that case, reduce it by 500. But I create another variable for that number so I don't have to repeat the whole thing 3 times. I divide the result by 40 and round down with the round down function. That's the birth month. The day is the remainder of that division, so we can use the mod function to get that.
At the end, I plug all 3 variables, year, month, and day, into the date function to get a correct birth date.
And there you have it, a date of birth retrieved from an ID number.
I'd say I've let you copy enough of my homework already. You can leave now.
Skedadliamus.
Expecto Pandorum. Superfly. Aloha Mora.